All right, this week we're going to do Lab 11, Exploded Views. Next week we're going to do Lab 13. You can skip Lab 12. Lab 12 is optional. You don't have to do it. You can, but it's not graded. So next week we'll do Lab 13, and then the week after we'll do Lab 14. And the week after that we will take the final. There is a final that we're going to take. Also, the last class, right before the final, you need to submit a final project. So down here on the bottom of Brightspace, if you click on project, you can find out what's involved with the final project. So the final project is 25% of your class grade. You can see it says, during the semester, you learned how to create solid models, drawings, and assemblies. For your final project, use these skills and your own creativity to create a set of drawings for an object of your choice. You will submit all your files for your final project at the start of the last day of class, 20% off for being late. So the structure of the project, the assembly must include 4 original parts drawn by you, the student. Fasteners, pallet parts, and imported models don't count. However, you can use them as much as you want. So you're going to turn in 3 sheets, and let me show you an example here. Download this and open it. So you need to turn in 3 sheets. The first sheet, you're going to have the assembly, where everything is assembled together. Sheet 2 is going to be the exploded view, which is what we're going to learn how to do tonight. We take everything apart and put the balloons on it and the parts list. And sheet 3 is one of those parts with the dimensions. So you need to have 4 or more of your own parts. Okay, so you can see here they have 8 parts that they assemble to make something. In this example, a picnic table. And take one of those 8 parts, just one, not all of them, just one, and give me the 3 views, top, front, and side with the dimensions needed to draw that part. Okay, so that's one example. This one's a good one. Here's an example of a submarine someone did, kind of like a toy submarine. So this is assembled together. Here's one of their parts dimensioned. Here's all the parts exploded so you can see them. Okay, so you can see that they have a lot more than 4 parts. There's a colored view of it assembled, which is pretty neat. I find that it helps if you make something that you can get dimensions off of, because you want to make sure that the different part files fit together to make something. There's a complex floor jack someone made. Yeah, it's a lot of parts. You don't have to do something quite this complex or crazy. Like I said, you only need 4 more parts. I think they might have done this. This was before me, but for a job or something that they wanted to make. Flashlight's a good example. Let's look at this one. All right, so there it is, exploded. You want to make sure that your parts aren't too simple. Like this O-ring, if that was one of your 4 parts and you only had 4 parts, that would be a little too easy. It would be hard to get an A, right? Same thing, like this is just 2 circles extruded. But if you count this, this, and this, maybe all 3 of them as 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts, 4 parts, and then you have 5, 6, be in better shape. Okay, if you have any more questions on that, feel free to let me know or shoot me an email. Okay. It says create a folder with the project title and your first name. So like whatever you're doing. So if you made a mixer, it'd be mixer and then your name. So in this case, John Smith. All the files should be in a folder, all the part files that you used, assembly files and drawing files, and the PDFs. And then we can submit all of that onto Brightspace in a Dropbox. This was if we were in class, you would copy it to that common drive. So lab 11, then we're going to skip lab 12, but you can do it if you want. It won't be graded. Lab 13 and lab 14 are short on purpose so that you actually have in-class time or class designated time to work on your final project. Okay, so once you have those uploaded, here's what you need to have. You need to know what you're going to do for your project by next week. And I would even start drawing it, start making a part file to see if it's actually going to work, if it will work. Okay, now one thing I want to show you guys here. Let me go into SolidWorks and open up a part. There's a lot of models that you can download online, but you can't do that. You have to use your own. And the way I can tell is if like this was a part that you had that you submitted, I can right click on it and go to feature properties. And in there it tells me who created it, on what computer, your computer name, but more importantly, the date. Okay, so all this stuff should be created sometime in, this was a couple weeks ago, but either April or May, right? 2020. So if something's made in like 2010, then I know you didn't make it. So you want to take the time to kind of start figuring out what you're going to make and maybe even try to get one of the 4 part files done by next week. For the project, people in the past have sometimes used things that they need for work. Sometimes there's something they need to draw for work, so they can do that. If you have something around your house that you can get dimensions from, that's pretty helpful. You want it to be not too hard, that's going to be hard for you to do, but not too easy where you should get an A. You can look at some of these examples. These are all A. Picnic tables are a really good example. I feel like the egg beater I did not show. That one is pretty advanced. You don't have to do anything that crazy. This was an architect student who was an architect that just took the class for fun. So he made this for fun. You can see this is like, I mean, it's a guaranteed A, but it's pretty complex. You don't have to go that crazy.